You are live. Alright. Well, what do we got? What is this? Facebook?
It's Facebook.
Hi, Facebook. Thanks for joining in.
On your bottom.
Hi, YouTube. There's no one on here. Alright, and then
Oh, there's one person.
one person. Giraffe woman. Giraffe woman.
I think they were on the other night.
Hi, Giraffe woman.
Here. There you go.
There we go.
Ask Haley could do that. That's an issue. Too much. Turn it
Oh,
off. You can hear the back door. There are a lot of
hey,
noise in the
Matteo.
background.
Do you hear a lot of background noise? We have some kind of AC thing going on. It doesn't sound bad? Okay.
George, this is not on my diet. I'm sitting here with you. That's why I'm getting fat. I eat with you.
Wow, we're getting so many heart faces from all of y'all. Thank you. Hearts and cares and likes. Y'all are awesome. Oh wow, I see them all coming in. Lots of laughy faces. What is that? Oh, is that Instagram? Instagram's a tough one. We're live right now?
I think so.
It says
Cover. Oh, can you
so much.
cover the
Can I get another
do the
kiss?
blinds?
Can I get a kiss? Oh, you're so sweet.
Well, it's
Cover
the-
the curtains.
it's the light.
Yeah, can you cover the curtains?
Yeah.
Maybe that'll help a little bit. Or we could put some pillows in that top one. Oh, that helped a bunch, I think.
You think so?
No, we can't really see them on TV. So you need to put the pillows up there. Put that.
Well, I think
Like-
it's these, right here.
Turn towards the wall. Let it bounce off the wall.
I was putting this down a little bit because the comments get in the way. There we go.
You
And
can't.
then,
What is your problem? We're gonna paint in a minute.
oh, you have your phone on airplane mode?
I don't have mine, but I'm not too worried about mine.
Okay.
Come here.
Okay,
But
well-
I have these two.
I think we're good with the
Come here.
flares. That doesn't look too good.
What's the matter with you?
I think
Maybe we can bring it.
You sleepy? You just got up. You can't be sleepy. You can't be sleepy. You can't
There
be
we go.
sleepy. You can't be sleepy.
Bring this forward.
Look, we're gonna paint. You can't get into it right now. I know, but you have to wait. You have to wait your turn. You gotta wait your turn. Can I have a kiss? George, can I have a kiss? Oh, thank you. Thank you. That was nice. Hey, look. Listen. I need you to behave, okay? This is really important. I need you to behave. Look, let me tell you something. Let's talk about this for a minute. Just let's talk. Hold on a minute. Listen. We're gonna paint. You know who we're gonna paint with? Okay, thank you for the kiss. Listen, we're gonna paint with Matteo. Okay? Okay.
All right, are we good to go?
I think we're good. It's
Sit down.
10:02.
All
Sit
right.
All right, George. You
Oh.
want
Oops.
TikTok's down. TikTok's down.
Here, I'll take this one.
All right.
Okay, sit down.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Thank you all for joining in to Paint Live with George. What? We are here today. It is Saturday. Thank you all. You all received the message that George is live painting. Well, George is coloring with some coloring pencils
and destroy it.
and destroying them.
I don't eat it. Yep.
Thank y'all all for joining in.
Sit down.
Behind us, we have celebrity artist Matteo Charles. What? You may all know him from Jack Black himself, who posted his video just recently Matteo Charles, everybody. He's going to be teaching us how to paint, and it's going to be a blast. George is going to love it because he loves coloring things. So, we're so excited. Get ready. Go to the download link in the bio to get the Paint by Numbers with George, where you can follow along. This is what we're painting, and it'll be a big sentimental value to you. You'll be like, oh my gosh. You'll have it on your wall, and people will be like, hey, what's that? And you'll be like, oh my gosh, I painted this with a monkey, Georgie boy himself. And they'll be like, oh, I know George, I follow George. So go, share. We're going to start off with a giveaway while we're waiting for people to get on. This is a apron that you can fashion in the mornings or while you're painting. It has George's handprint on it, and it says Georgie boy, and it says I love you, a bushel and a peck, and a hug around the neck. And this is what we're going to be giving away to anyone who shares a post, a picture or a video of their final painting and tags us in it. Once you do that, you'll have a chance to win this awesome apron. We're so excited to announce this after the live. So let's get started. Matteo, take it away.
Thank you so much, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're going to get started. As we can see, it's a paint by numbers. There's no real rules. We're going to have fun with this. We're just going to start. You can take it at your own pace. Obviously, I'm going to go down and start with the first colour, second colour, third colour, and so forth, and you can do the same. And, we're going to do some questions and some storytelling in between, and just have some fun with it. And of course, we want to see George's masterpiece at the end. So I hope everyone enjoys. I'm going to ask a question that I'm very interested in to start us all off, and I'm very curious. So, what's your story? How did all of this come about with George, and how did George come about to be a family member of yours?
So we like to say that George found us, which is really true. We didn't find George. It's not every day that you come across a monkey that needs a home. This was about 10 years ago, 11 years now. George was 1 year old, and he had gone from home to home, and we found out that he needed a home, and it was only a few hours away from us. And during the time, AJ here was struggling with CRPS. It is a disease that affects the nervous system, and it's the most painful disease in the world. So we were just kind of in this state of disarray, really. What are we going to do, because in the next several years, it's going to digress to something where you become not able to take care of yourself and really just crippled. And we thought, you know what, George, when we found out that George was needing a home, we were like, this is too perfect. Not only is he going to be emotional support, but he's also going to be physical support. And once we saw that he needed a home, and we knew that he was going to end up in probably a sanctuary, we were like, we have to take care of this monkey. We So George ended up finding us and rescuing us, and AJ here is doing even better than she was doing at the time. We're so thankful, and George has been an incredible amount of support and help, and it's been awesome having George a part of the family, and we're so happy that the love and support that George gives us, we can share with the world. And we're so happy that we can do that for all of you. And we've got so many stories from fans and just over the past couple years about how much George has helped them. And we've been like, wow, this is how much George has helped us, you know? And it's really been an incredible journey. And we're so happy that y'all are a part of it and that we can share it with y'all. And that is George's story.
And we're sticking to it.
That's amazing. And you know, I'll give you guys a little bit of time to paint, and I guess I'll add to that as well. So
I need my
for
paint.
those of you that don't know about me, 15 years ago I was actually diagnosed with incurable disease myself, and I used art as a form of therapy. So a lot like George, I found refuge in painting, and it healed a lot of my pain and things like that. I was diagnosed with something called ulcerative colitis, which is basically an inflammatory bowel disease. So it was very crippling. You know, it's a chronic disease, and you know, for me, like I said, that the art is something that was a great refuge for me. And I also had a pet of my own. I called my son. He was a British bulldog. His name was Bentley, and he followed me everywhere. He was like a little shadow, and he was such a comforting to me as well. And he was like my best friend. So he was one little, we lost him about 2 years ago now, but he was an amazing, comforter and things like that as well. So I can definitely relate to that. So that's a beautiful story. Animals have such a powerful healing energy about them, and that really is. I just love that. So that's a beautiful story. And I'm so glad that you're feeling much better, and that George has been a part of that journey as well. So that's amazing.
One second, I gotta go get my paint real quick.
Yes.
We have a Bentley too.
I'm sorry?
We have a dog named Bentley.
No.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And
That's all.
our oldest daughter has the same thing, you see.
Ulcerative colitis.
No way.
Yes.
We'll talk about this more.
Yes. A lot in common.
Okay.
Absolutely. Okay, that's great. I hope everyone's paintings are coming along well.
Oh, something we should say is you don't have to get the colors completely perfect. Everyone's result's going to be different.
That's right. We're just going to have fun with it. As I said, don't think about it too much. And this is everyone's interpretation, so it's just going to be a lot of fun. Another thing I would love to know.
George is a black-capped capuchin.
Okay.
And that's a very common question that we get from everyone on our comments. He is a black-capped capuchin. There's white-faced capuchins.
Cinnamons.
There's all kinds of different monkeys out there. There's apes versus primates.
New World versus Old World.
And New World versus Old World. AJ knows more about this than I do.
Oh, that's awesome. And how long are they expected to live? What's their life expectancy?
30 to 40 years. The longest has been over 50, I think 55 or 56.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
In captivity,
Yeah, in the wild, it's like
half that.
half of that.
I think there's a question we're all wondering. What's the biggest mess George has made?
I'll let AJ answer that because she's the one that had to clean it up.
Well, it was during Christmas season. We don't eat paint. Oh, nice.
Christmas when everything's busy.
Yes, I was setting up Christmas stuff. You can't have that in your mouth. You can't eat paint. Okay, let's not eat paint. I was putting up Christmas stuff, and it was literally a day from you know what. He made every mess you can imagine that day. I had stepped in my bedroom to grab something. I come out, he'd gotten hold of the baby powder, and my whole house was snowed. And I keep him on a lead so I can chase him down. Everybody asks, why do you keep him on a lead? Well, that's why, because I didn't have him on a lead, and he went through my whole downstairs on my hardwoods with that, and knocked over the Christmas tree. He flocked it with baby powder, and it took me probably a good year to get from corner to corner all the powder, because every time I'd step on my hardwood somewhere I'd fall.
So yeah, my whole house was snowy, and he was totally covered in. He looked like, I don't know, a big marshmallow. He was proud of himself.
Getting into the Christmas spirit.
Yeah. And it was. I wanted to be really mad because I was cleaning it up, but it was kind of funny. I'll have to post a picture one day and what it looked like. My Christmas tree, all the bulbs were broke.
I've got to show y'all my progress. I'm not very good at staying in the lines. That's supposed to be a G and an E. So hopefully this will turn out okay. But George is doing better than me. Check that out. George is doing better than me. Yeah, look at that. That's abstract right there.
Do you want to get his crayons from the drawer?
Yeah,
behind
let's get George some crayons.
you? There's a big box.
Ooh, 64 of them, all kinds of colors.
We'll just put in 4 or 5 down.
All right, there we go. He's a little bit.
Yes, that would lead me to my next question. What does George love to do? What's his favourite thing to do?
Whew, driving me crazy. I don't know. He's really very well rounded. He loves to wrestle. Like this morning, he kept attacking his oldest sister while she was trying up here to get things ready. Not attacking. Let me use that because somebody's gonna say, "Oh, he attacks." No, he was playing. He was like he runs and likes to grab the back of your calves and wrestle with them and bite them and.
There's a video we posted of George playing with his oldest sister and human sister, and she's going, "No, George, stop! Not the back that tickles."
Not the ribs.
Not the ribs, George, not the ribs.
He loves to tickle you.
Yeah, he's a tickler.
He likes to tickle and he likes you to tickle him.
I was just about to ask this, is he ticklish?
Yes, he is. When he laughs, he's like, it's not like a human laugh. He breathes heavy, like.
Ah, okay. Very cool.
George, this is you I'm painting. But this is the quiet you. Can you be the quiet
I do
you?
gotta ask everyone, and you'll have to watch the comments. How is the sound? Is the sound okay? Can y'all hear Matteo okay? Can y'all hear us okay? Might take a second for the messages to pour in.
Sound is great, someone says.
Sound is great? Awesome. Awesome, great.
Matteo was asking something. What did he say?
I'm sorry, Matteo, what did you say?
I was just asking, has anyone spilt any paint yet?
Oh, George has.
No, George has ate it. Can you sit down? Look, you have your own crayons. Looky here. Look. Can you color? Color your picture. You want to color? Okay, you can color over here on mine if you want to. Color right there if you want. I don't care.
So what's it like raising a monkey?
Whew. It's busy, very busy. You can't plan your days. You have to be willing to roll with the flow. Because as you can see, like now, nothing.
Someone said turn up Matteo.
Turn up Matteo?
Is that possible?
Yeah, I think so.
We're going to turn Matteo up real quick. You can't really plan a day because
They said it's a little soft. They can still hear him, but you turn it up a little bit.
it's kind of like having you have to plan your day because they're kind of like autistic children. You can't spring things on them. It'll stress them out. And it's kind of like having an ADHD child that bounces off the wall 24/7.
Okay.
It's kind of like when people say, do you want I want a monkey, and how do you do it? I'd say, well, it's kind of like putting all your food in a blender and blending it up without a lid. That describes it. And you have to be sharp on your toes and have 500 eyeballs out of the side of your head. He's busy. They're busy.
I think there's always that perception that, of course, they're a lot of fun, but they're a lot of work as well. So
Yes, it is a lot of work. It's not something to take very lightly.
Oh, might need some water. George drank all his water. This is his bottle.
He just got that for his birthday from one of his fans.
That's very cute.
Okay, George. You want some water? Interesting fact, people always ask, hey, does George talk? He doesn't talk, but he really hums to us. I'll see if I can get him to do this for y'all. Okay, George, on your bottom. On your bottom. Thank you. Do you want this? George, do you want this? Here. You want this? No, he doesn't want it right now. I'll try it in a minute.
Okay, Matteo, I gotta ask. This is my progress so far. I've just been working on the letters. I don't know how my light blue turned into gray, but how are you doing it? Are you like searching for the numbers and then like trying to get all the numbers in before you're done with that color, or are you just going from like one space to the next?
So I try and get all the numbers, like if I'm doing, for example, number 5, I'll try and get all the 5s done and things like that. But usually you miss it just because like your eye, it just wanders. So I always just say again, just like, do you have you've got your paint laid out there, so that's good. I've got like a little palette here as well, that's all in water. So I know like if I miss one, and what I do as well is I pop the colour that I'm using on the side here that I list here. So where it says dark orange, I'll just do a little dot so you know that that's dark orange as well. So you're not going into a different orange. But again, we just have fun with it, there's no rules. And I'm excited to see everyone's results. So yeah.
Okay. I need to do that.
I have to ask, is with the presents and George opening the presents, how did that come about? Is that something that he did on his own? Is it something he's trained to do? How did that come about?
He's always liked opening presents. It started, I think, probably with Christmas, because we underestimated his intelligence. We had Christmas one year and he literally cried because he didn't have a package, so we let him open up our packages. So the next year we started doing it, and then how we got started with us was a friend of ours, little girl, had a birthday party, and we did a present, and so I bought him something, and we opened them, and then we posted it. But by that point, Will had already posted one video of some balloons, and that kind of went viral. And someone sent us a message and said, hey, can I send George a present? And that's how I got started, was the first gift. And so then we started getting daily requests. Can I send him a gift? Can I send him a gift? So we started saying, okay, well, it was not a problem until after we got to 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 packages. We were like, wow, what are we going to do with all this? So I have a niece that's special needs, and being around a bunch of special needs children a lot. And we decided that we wanted to pay it forward and bless children that are sick or who are mentally challenged. And so that's what we do.
Yeah, George is not trained to open packages. He does it on his own.
Yeah, we don't make him do anything he doesn't want to do. He has his own little mind.
And so, with that said, does he get angry at all? Or?
Yes, he does. He can throw a big fit. I call it the Sanford and Son fit.
Usually that's whenever he takes something that he wants to eat, but he's not supposed to eat, and we have to take it back. That's whenever he throws a fit. And he just gets, he just cries and cries really loud.
He's just like a baby. I mean, when he gets upset or sleepy, he starts whining. He's very vocal. He lets us know.
Don't worry, that's pretty much me when I'm sleepy too.
George, are you going to paint? Use your paintbrush.
Use your paintbrush. If you don't put it in your mouth, don't put it in your mouth. Don't put it in your mouth. Just what I said not to do. No.
How?
No, sir.
Here we go.
There he goes.
He's moving us.
He doesn't like the word no.
Or the finger. He doesn't like when you do this.
Only with his youngest sister. I can point the finger at him.
How are you doing these small lines, Matteo? Are you doing like strokes, like smooth?
So a little tip is I just like flick the brush, and I just like keep building it up. So just like if you can see, you just kind of like I'll be on the side here, and you just kind of just keep flicking it like that, and just keep building it up,
Okay.
and that gives it actually a bit of depth as well.
Cool.
Full discretion, for anyone that doesn't know, I usually paint portraits live on stage in about 10 minutes. So my brushes are very big. I'm not used to using these small brushes, so I'm in the same boat as everyone, so it's all good. And I think George is looking at me right now. Hi, George.
Can you say hi?
George, you saying hi to Matteo?
Oh, he's smiling. How you going, buddy?
Oh, he's really
He likes you.
excited. We have Matteo on a screen over here. So.
Together.
Can you say hi? Is that your friend?
He says, everybody loves me.
We're painting your portrait. Look at you smiling. We're painting your portrait, aren't we? Yeah. You got a smile.
It's like night at the museum.
That's true, actually. He wasn't the star in that, was he?
No.
No. I think that was Crystal.
That's a famous monkey named Crystal. She's in all the movies that have.
They may have retired her by now. I don't know.
But she's in Hangover, Night at the Museum, Pirates of the Caribbean.
So, obviously, silly question, but obviously George sleeps in the house and things like that. So, does that mean he has, like, free reign of the house, or...?
No.
Definitely not.
No. He sleeps in a sleep cage. And he sleeps in a hammock. So, if we let him run loose, everything in our pantry would be destroyed.
Yeah, George would be overdosed on
Food.
pain pills and sugar.
I don't do pain pills, so we don't have any pain pills now.
He would be
Well,
overdosed-
Tylenol.
He'd be overdosed on yeah. He probably wouldn't be here if he had full reign.
They're very curious, and they just do not realize the dangers of everything. So, another interesting fact that when I got George, they told us, I said, well, what am I going to do to keep him out of things? And they said, well, just get little alligators. So we have plastic alligators around our house. And we stick them like in the medicine cabinet and on chemicals and in my bathroom. Because one day he got in there and put on makeup. He watched me do it, so he put on makeup. And I found lipstick all over his face. He had green eyeshadow on. And he was proud of himself.
He had a hot day and he didn't want to tell anyone about it.
I know. I told him, I said, you can't be doing that. But after he's done playing in it, he destroys it. He just wipes it on the floor, all over himself. But, so yeah, the alligators, it's kind of funny because he'll open up a cabinet, and it's probably been a couple years since he's opened up that cabinet. And he opens it up, and he jumps back real quick, and he goes, and he starts alerting us to it. And we're like, it's like been there 10 years. I don't understand why
Yeah.
he's just now freaking out about it again. But he freaks out about it every single time. It's like Groundhog Day.
I have to admit, that's pretty cute.
So if you ever see any alligators in our videos, that's what it's there for. It keeps him out of stuff.
If we had a cartoon of George, the antagonist would be an alligator.
Yeah.
take a minute to concentrate.
Yeah, I think this is my progress so far. Everyone, if you've tuned in a little late, go to our bio and you'll be able to download this paint by numbers and paint along with us, or draw, color with your
Color
crayons,
pencils or crayons?
color pencils, whatever. But this is my progress so far. It's a little, this feels like expert level stuff. This is hard for me. But it's a journey. Everyone's result's going to be different. Also, we are doing giveaways. We have a dish rag that says "Love you, a bushel and a peck, and a hug around the neck." This is a giveaway that we'll be doing. All you have to do for your chance to win this exclusive Georgie Boy dish rag is to go post a picture of your picture portrait that you've made and tag us in it, and we'll look through, and you might just be lucky enough to win this exclusive Georgie Boy dish rag.
Can I answer?
Sure.
I'm excited to see everyone's interpretation. It's going to be awesome.
Alright, so
Blue.
dark teal. What even is dark teal? I don't know. I'm just like guessing on what these colors are.
That's the fun part.
Alright, let's
So I
see.
have to ask as well, his diapers, how many do you go through? Do you stockpile them? What's that situation like?
Yes, Costco's and Sam's are my friend. So, not only do we have George, we have Lacey, his sister now, and we have a handicapped dog that's in diapers as well. She was rescued, she was shot, and she can't use her back legs, so she's in diapers 24 hours a day too. So I can go from anywhere from, well, of course, everybody always says, why does he eat so much? Well, that's what they do. They forage a lot. They eat a lot of nuts and stuff. But their digestive system's moving about every 15 minutes. So if I changed every time he pooped, I'd go through a case of diapers a day. But I change him probably about 4 to 5 times a day. So yeah, they're kind of messy with their going in their diaper a lot.
So can they be potty trained or?
Yes, they can be. But like I tell people, most of the time you're trained. Like when you're training a child and someone says, well, my child's potty trained at 18 months. No, you're trained because you're taking them to the bathroom all the time.
Okay.
But because they poop so much, it's really difficult.
They're like birds.
Yes. It's
When George has his diaper off, you don't even know it. All of a sudden you see something laying on the ground. It's like, it just comes out. It's like a bird, like in the tree. The bird looks like he's enjoying his day. All of a sudden you see something dropped on the ground. That's exactly what it's like when George doesn't have a diaper on.
But he does. What's funny is because I bring it to his attention, he's very cautious of it. I'll say, George, are you pooping? He'll go hide and poop, and he holds his tail up and he hunches down and he hides to do it.
It's like dogs when they know they've done something
Yes.
wrong, they put their hand down and
Yes.
oh, he's got the brush. He's got the brush. He had the brush. He heard me. He got stage fright.
But he lets us know things. I mean, he's very smart. Very, very smart. But I talk to him a lot. I don't talk to him as if he's not capable of learning.
I love that. That's very cool. A little bit of a side note, if anyone's, using paints, what you can do is just add a little bit of water to your brush and then dip it in the paint, and it just glides along the canvas a little bit easier, things like that. So you see me bent down a little bit, I'm just dipping it in the water and just gliding it across dipping it in paint and then it'll go a lot easier along the paper or canvas or whatever you're using. So just a little bit of a fun tip there.
Yeah, that worked. George, are you gonna help me out here?
Yeah, Will needs a lot of help there. Will, I don't think that's what it's supposed
Ooh,
to
look
look
at
like.
Yeah, that's
There's
what I'm talking
mine.
about.
Oh, mine's looking very cool. I'm gonna have to get you to use 2 brushes soon, Will, like I do on stage.
2 brushes. I think I'll stick with 1.
He's doing good just to use a pencil.
But I probably should use 2 brushes because I'm worried I'm not gonna finish this in time.
Just do this, not that.
Well, it's a canvas. I gotta do the sides.
Oh gosh.
So does George, you mentioned you've got other animals and things like that. Does he get along with them okay?
Yes, he does. Now, one thing that he does do that is not nice at all, is if I get onto one of the dogs, he wants to be the Texas Hammer. He likes to go get onto them.
Oh, wow.
And I have to get onto him for getting onto them. Because he'll run up and slap them.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, he's kind of bossy.
He picks sides. If you show, like, if he's in front of maybe something that looks like an argument, he'll choose a side, and then he'll get behind you and be like, look
He's
at the
very
other person like, what? Like, come at me.
That's pretty funny.
George, you gonna help me out
So
here?
what do you guys do, like, when you go on vacation? What happens with George?
Whew. Well, that's another thing. When we go on vacation, up until
Thanks, George. Oh, don't
not
eat
that
it. Don't eat it.
George, you have to wait. Your turn. Eat your food, or you paint with your crayons. Here.
This is another reason why we don't recommend getting a monkey. Is because you'll never go on vacation with everyone.
Right.
You can go on vacation, but you have to have someone that knows the monkey, and the monkey knows them to watch them.
Because they're so like us. He is like before they got married. We would go on vacation if I had someone that could watch him. One of my dear friends that just moved. She just left here. She has kept him before for Will to go with us on vacation. But before they were married, if we went on vacation, Will was getting his master's, so he had to stay back and finish up, and we would go on vacation. Will would keep him. Will's sisters kept him before. It has to be somebody that's been around a lot, because it's I don't know how the right word. It's very intimate when you change their diaper. They get embarrassed. They don't want people touching them that's not been around them. So it's got to be somebody that knows how to make sure that the trust and the bond's got to be there. And you got to make for sure that they understand that it has to have locks on. They have to have all the doors locked. I mean, it's constantly, and if the person is lackadaisical, something could happen, you know? What's he doing?
Look at my leg.
I look over at Will and he's...
This is how I clean the brush off.
You are a certified artist.
Oh my god. I gave you a paper towel roll.
Oh yeah, well, I'm trying to speed. I'm a speed artist.
Real artist.
I'm a speed artist like Matteo.
But you know, when you ask about that, not most primates and people that I know, they will say, well, why does George let so many people handle him? When I say so many people, we don't let strangers at all hold him. But, you know, if you had been here 4 or 5 times and he's got a real good bond and trust with you, he would be okay with you and he would let you change him. Most are not like that. Most of them only let 1 or 2 people change them, get them out of the cage, and all that. So it's very difficult to find someone that has enough confidence, because you have to make for sure they'll try to alpha you. So you have to make for sure that it's somebody that's got a strong personality that can help put them in place and not be afraid to, tell them no.
Yeah, I suppose again, it's like a dog, right? Like a dog would have to trust with you,
Right.
you know, the energy and things like that. So, yeah, I totally get it. That makes absolute sense. And do you take him to stores and things like that, or like, you know,
No, I don't. Now when the girls were younger and stuff like that in the neighborhood and stuff like that, I'd take them out and pull up in front of someone's house with him or something like that to pick them up or drop them off places. But I don't take him into stores. I don't take him into banks. I just don't want to risk, and that's a personal decision. I know people that have primates. They take them everywhere. They go take them into restaurants if they allow it. We just don't do that. I just don't want the risk there, because all it takes is one person to say, he's bit them or scratched them, and then they can, in certain states and counties, they will automatically euthanize. So we just don't take that risk. We remove that risk. If we're traveling, we make for sure that we do places that we can do drive-through, or someone goes in and gets all the food, a couple people eat, and then the other people come out and wait. That's how complicated our life is because of this little hairy guy.
I totally get it. I used to do the same thing with Bentley. If I was, traveling overseas to perform or anything like that, I used to leave him with my parents, and they become part of the family. So I absolutely get it. Yeah, but I do think as well that we don't see it as making it as a sacrifice, because we love them. So they're a part of our family, and we just becomes the norm, really.
Right.
Yeah, something about monkeys is they're like, just like very intelligent animals, like dolphins. So they can become depressed, just like many of the intelligent animals out there, like dolphins and whales, and you also have to not only take care of them like physically, you also have to take care of them mentally, and let them go out and play, and let them experience life, and never leave them, because they're very emotional animals as well. So you always have to keep it in mind that they're part of the family. They're not just like
a cat.
A pet.
A cat you can leave unattended for a couple of days as long as they got food, or a cat they like to do their own little thing. They're not, but George, he has to have interaction all the time, or they become mean. They can become mean. They don't fare well when you do that.
Yep. And again, I think it's great that we're having this conversation too, because it also educates people on what it's like to have George. It's amazing, but it's a lot of work as well. So I think it's important to have these conversations.
It is, and a lot of people won't have these conversations. They just want a lizard, or they want a snake, or they want a monkey, and they don't think about the long-term consequences of what about the vet bills, what about this. It's there's not many exotic vets out there that you can just run and go to if something should happen. Not like a regular vet around the corner. Not all vets will see primates. So for me, for example, I had to drive 3.5 hours just to go take him the other day to the vet,
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, and we lived close to a big city. You would think that there would be plenty of exotic vets, right? But that's not always the case. They're exotic, but they don't see the primates.
Yeah, okay. And again, that's another thing that you would not think of. Okay, well, is there a specific vet in my area and all that sort of stuff, and in times of emergency. So again, these are important questions and conversations to have. So yeah, that's definitely important.
Right. I tell people all the time, do you have a vet? Oh, I don't have a vet. Okay, well, you live 50 miles away from the nearest town. You better check to see before you even make this decision. You better talk to your adult children and see, because they're not very good with small children. They really aren't.
Okay.
They're okay for short stints and stuff like that. You see monkeys, or used to see a lot of them, the organ grinder monkeys at birthday parties and stuff like that. But most of them, they've removed their teeth just so they remove the risk of them biting, because they can bite very quickly. For example, if you're wrestling around with them or you go to grab them and they perceive that as a threat, even though you're playing, they will bite because they don't know how to read you. They don't know you. That's why we tell people don't expose your monkey to people that they don't know, because they know your body language, but they don't know everyone else's.
Yeah, that
So-
makes sense.
So people just don't think they want one, and then they don't think about, and that's why there's so many of them that end up being rehomed or sent to sanctuaries because of it. They either bite because you put them in the situation that caused them to bite, or they didn't realize how much work was entailed in getting them.
Yeah, which is always sad. I guess it's like Christmas time. They always say around Christmas time,
Yes.
is when all the puppies are bought, and then sort of 2 weeks later, they're all at the adoption centers because
Oh, I know.
or whatever, a month later, because they wanted them as a present, but then now they didn't realize the amount of work that goes into it. I always get upset with that as well, because again, as you were saying, even with Bentley, when I wanted, to get him, I wanted to find a dog that suited my lifestyle, and I was just, I was in and out of hospital, but I wanted a companion. And he was perfect because he slept 20 hours of the day, so it was the perfect dog for me. So yeah, I definitely think research is key, no matter what you do in life, but especially having, bringing a new member into the family. So I think that's very cool.
George, are you a lot of
But
work?
when traveling, is he in a car seat? Like, how does that work?
I used to do that before I was really educated and understood the implications if I was to have a car wreck, because George is very protective of me. So if I was to have a car wreck, and I had read a story where there was a dog that was thrown from a vehicle that was on a rollover, and then the dog went amiss, and the person, was traumatized because they never got their dog back because they never could find it. So after that, I decided, for us to take him in the car, he needs to be in a cage. So if we do have a car wreck or something should happen, the paramedics could work on us, because he wouldn't let them, because he's going to be protective. He doesn't understand that they're trying to save our life. He perceives that as a threat. So we keep him in a cage to remove that risk as well. It's just not safe. I recommend anybody with an animal to please ride with your animal in a carrier. So if you do have a wreck, at least when you do come to and they're done working on you, they can say your dog or cat or whatever is okay. The animal control has them, or they have them here at the police station or wherever, or we've given them to a family member, because they're just as traumatized as you are. So we keep him in, when we travel, we keep him in a cage.
Okay, and that makes total sense.
I definitely don't do that with my dog. He's got his tongue sticking out. He's looking out the window. That's my dog. But we're usually just going somewhere, close.
That's all right. Bentley was asleep no matter what. I was just saying earlier, if he was here now, you'd hear some very loud snoring in the background, because that's what he'd be doing, just absolutely snoring. So with all of that said, how difficult, I guess, would you say would it be owning, a monkey like George?
It's very difficult. Not only just it takes a village to take care of him, and everybody has to be on board. But I think that the biggest thing is it's just restricted our life. We just we can't do the things that we would like to do. I love George. I wouldn't trade George for the world. But if I had if I could look into the future of what it was going to be like with him, and all the difficult with all the laws that I have to deal with, because there's tons of laws, and the laws are constantly changing, and sadly, they don't have to grandfather you in. That's blue. You don't need that one. You're not getting the paint because you eat it. You put that on there. Color, right there. The laws are constantly changing. We just had 2 bans come through the state of Texas, and they have put them on hold right now. But they're just constantly changing, so you just don't. It's just scary. It's scary the fact that they can come in and do this and change the laws, and they don't have to grandfather you in. They don't have to do anything really. And it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money to fight the laws and stuff. I know, people that, for me right now, we're going to be moving to land, so we have all the laws that are currently on the books. You have to have 1,000 in most states and counties. You have to have 1,000 feet on the front, the side, and the back, and you have to be so many feet from a school and so many feet from a church. Oh, thank you, George. Color. You can color. Thank you. That's so pretty. So yeah, it's always in the back of my mind, because I have seen the ugly part of it when people have lost their monkeys because they're in an illegal or a banned county, or they've been traveling through one and they didn't follow the rules. For example, if we went to on vacation, and we had to. Oh, that's so pretty. Thank you, George. Thank you.
We gotta do a status update. Here's my progress. It just looks like a big blob, but this is me. So if you don't like it,
I will.
This is, I guess you would call this abstract art. That's what I'm talking
We're
about.
We're starting this bid off on this one for $500. Who wants it? But what I was saying, when we were traveling, in every state you have to go through. Like in Texas, there are certain counties that are banned, and you have if that county is a total ban, then you have to drive around it. You cannot go through that county. And just because your state says you can have them, doesn't mean that you can if your county says you no. So I don't know what you want. You color with that one.
What do you want?
He wants to eat the paint, and we're not eating the paint.
Can you give him some water?
You want your water? You want this? Say thank you. Say thank you.
Okay, if you are wondering what we're painting, it is Paint by Numbers with George, and you can go to the link in our bio to download the Paint by Numbers and paint along with us, or draw, color, whatever. You just got to print it out and have a lot of fun with George and us, and also post a picture and tag us in it, because we are doing giveaways. We've got some socks, some tie-dye socks we're going to be giving away. We've got lots of giveaways, but here's one of them. It's got George's handprint on it. I don't know if you can see it. It's got his white handprint on it. Some tie-dye socks, y'all. So, this is just one of the things that we'll be giving away to any random lucky fan who posts a picture or posts a video of your painting and tags us in it. We'll be so excited. And we'll announce that after everything. So y'all go post your paintings. We want to see them.
I'm doing some blending as well. I like to change it up.
Oh my gosh. Look at how much progress you've made.
Well, as I was telling you, when we travel, when you go through a state, you have to make for sure that you have the current permit. Like some states, you have to have a current TB test. Some of them you have to have a health certificate and an entry permit. And some of them have to be done 30 to 60 to 90 days before. You can't do it instantly. So traveling on an emergency is that's not an option. You can't do that.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult to travel. You just can't just pick up and drive. Like when we were driving out of state, I had to, every state we were going through, like Louisiana is a 24. Oh, that's pretty, George. Color. You color right there. When we were driving through Louisiana, we had you have 24 hours from the time you hit the state line. Mississippi, you have to have an entry permit. Different states have different requirements. And you have to make for sure everywhere you go, and you have to make sure those counties are not a banned county as well. So
Wow.
having a vacation is a lot of work. So we just don't expose him, so we just keep him at home now.
Yeah.
So tell us, Matteo, how did you end up getting Jack Black to post your painting?
So we did a virtual charity event together probably about 2 weeks ago, and I performed 2 paintings, and he narrated the event. And part of the event was the piece that I did for him and the video. But to be honest, I didn't know he was going to, I knew he was going to paint, I knew he was going to post, I just didn't know when. And then I woke up one morning and it said, Jack Black has tagged you in a post. And I went, this is exciting. So, yeah, it was pretty cool.
That is awesome. I am a huge fan of School of Rock and Jack Black, and that's really cool.
Oh, that's awesome. No, he's cool. I'm kind of I'm a fan as well. You know, from Shallow Hal days and stuff like that. So, yeah, he's a really cool dude.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess with everything you guys explain and things like that, you know, would you recommend owning a monkey?
That's a personal decision, but personally myself, because I don't think people realize that they cannot be locked up in a cage all day long, and you can't go to work with them, that kind of a thing. I know people that do. It's just, I just don't think it's fair to them to be locked up in a cage and you get home at 5, 6 o'clock in the afternoon and you only spend a couple of hours with them. They're very social animals. So I am not against private ownership. I'm for responsible ownership, but I don't believe that people do what it takes to commit to that, to do it properly.
Yeah.
So that's probably the best answer that I could give. I mean, if someone wanted to get one and came to me, and I've had several people, and they're illegal, and I've had someone the other day that was illegal in an illegal state, and they said, well, I want one. This has been my dream, and I'm just going to do it anyways. They'll just have to take it away from me. Well, they will take it away from you, and I will not help you get to a breeder. But if you've done your homework and you've done everything, and I've educated you, and you're set on getting one, and you want to get one, it's not for me to judge them, but I try to educate them as best as possible. More times than not, after I talk to people and they really realize, they back out. They say no, I didn't realize it was that much, or I didn't realize they cost that much money. They're not a $500 animal. They're very expensive, and the initial investment of buying them, they're about $20,000. They're fixing to go up to $20,000 to buy one. That's really the cheap part, That's the cheap part. Like the other day, I went to the vet, and he has some dental issues, and as a result of that, had to have some dental surgery on the spot to get him out of pain. And he still has more. And we've been searching for doctors to help him all over the world. Even in Australia, I've reached out. So to see what they do, and most of the time they just pull their teeth because it's just not feasible to spend $10,000 on a primate's mouth, Yeah. You've got to be willing to do whatever it takes if it was like it was your child. A lot of times people just say, well, it's just an animal, but that's not how we see George. So,
absolutely.
You have to be willing to drop the money to, whatever it takes to figure it out to pay for it,
Yeah, I totally agree, and I totally get it. I think I think it's a bit selfish just to say I'm going to get one and that's it, because we forget about the well-being of the animal as well, So,
right. It's a matter of it's not a matter of if they get confiscated, it's when. They will get confiscated if you're doing it illegally. You will get caught, and it's just not fair to them because they trust you and they count on you to do the right thing, and you don't do the right thing, then it affects them, and it's sad. It's sad to see all that go on, but it does, because Humans are selfish beings, and I didn't realize how much work it took. But I think, as Will has said, that it's like he rescued us. I mean, I started the disease spread to my arms, and my arms was drying up, and I couldn't use them, and I had to change him, and it forced me to have to keep moving, and I think that's what has kept me out of the wheelchair.
I love that. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's kind of a gray area question, because at the same time, sanctuaries, sometimes they're not run very well. So sometimes, usually, if you're a good owner, it's better for the monkey to be with you than to be at the poorly run sanctuary nearby.
And there's some good
and it's
sanctuaries.
sad to say, but that's true.
There's some good ones. I mean, for example,
there are good ones, yeah.
I mean, Lacey was at a very good one. They just got affected by the hurricane and wiped out. So we have her, but she didn't do very well there because she was in a home before, and she had to go there because her owner got sick. But she did not do very well with the other primates there, and so that's why they want us to keep her, because they feel like she's in a better place than she would even be in that sanctuary. They said she'd never really adjusted very well to the other animals in the cage. She wants to be in a home environment. She wanted to be with this person that ran the sanctuary all the time, and this person cannot. It's a sanctuary. There's many monkeys there.
I've got a big announcement. I have colored the letters.
5 hours later.
And you can kind of see George in there a little bit.
Yeah, it's coming.
Kind of.
Oh,
It's
that's
coming
pretty
along. Yeah. If you don't know what this is, and you're just tuning in, you can go to our link in our bio and click on Paint Live, and you can download the Paint by Numbers with George that we are painting right now, and you can print it out just like George did. As George has got his food all over his painting. You can paint it out just like George did, and you can color with crayons or coloring pencils or whatever you want. So, also, when you're done painting, please post a picture of the painting and tag us in it, because we're excited to see, or post a video of the painting and tag us in it, because we're doing giveaways. We've already announced that we got this dish rag with George's handprint. We've got these tie-dye socks with George's handprint. We've got this what do you call this?
Apron.
This apron.
You wouldn't know.
With George's handprint. And we haven't told y'all yet, but we also have another dish rag with George's handprint. It's exclusive. There's not very many of these in the world, so you will be
Two to be
a
exact.
very proud owner of a very rare item. If you post a picture and tag us in it, it's going to be awesome. We can't wait to announce who wins that.
What is that?
George, what's this? This is my paint. Mateo, you are
Rocking it.
Oh my
leaps,
God.
your leaps and bounds farther than I am.
That's all right. Another little tip, if you're feeling adventurous, what you can do is, if you're painting green, for example, you can just then dip it in blue and use it and do the blue as well, because it brings up like a little bit of blend next to the colors as well.
Uh-huh.
So that's a little bit of a tip as well for everyone. If you want to speed up the process, you can do it that way as well. You're just going from color to color. So that's a little tip. That's what I'm doing here to get that blended effect as well. So yeah.
I better stick to caring for monkeys. You lied once because
Wait, we gotta see how yours is coming along.
yeah, this is
You're doing better than I am.
come on, because I'm a woman and I'm that's not my career like Matteo. I mean, by hands down, he's got us all beat.
It's all good. It's like I said, it's all fun. It's So you mentioned earlier, obviously, he can have a little bit of a bite here and there and things like that. Does he cry? Oh, he's getting a brush.
Does he? Yeah, you have to constantly be watching them. Does he cry? Yes, he does.
Whenever he has to wait for his food, usually he wakes up and gets breakfast. Like he goes to his high chair and gets breakfast right away. Sometimes we don't have the breakfast ready and he goes to his high chair. If we do that, and then he cries for his food. He just looks at us and cries and coos, and he's got his arms up like this, and he's like, "Come on, I'm waiting."
But he has cried tears before. There's a video of George, sit down. There's nothing there. There's a video of Lacey crying when she came out of surgery.
Honey, bud.
But yes, they can cry.
Oh,
They're very emotional beings. Here.
Yeah.
What is it?
There's nobody there. Nobody there. Nobody's there.
Over here, George.
He hears a noise, but look. See?
George.
Look, George.
Hey, bud. Here he is.
Yay!
Hey.
He's talking to you.
We're having a conversation. I'm painting your portrait, so can you stay still?
Yeah. That would be really nice. Last year I almost died. I got my CRPS spread internally, and I went to the doctor and to the hospital, and they accidentally ruptured my bladder. But anyways, that's another story. But anyways, George was so kind and gentle. He laid in bed with me for almost 8 months with a catheter and a PICC line and everything, and not one time did he try to mess with it. So they're very in tune to your needs.
I was just about to say they can sense the energy, right?
Oh yes, he was so good. He never really he would just lay people see him where he just always just jumping and moving and bouncing. He didn't do that. He just laid there with me very softly, and I would just say, "No, softly, don't touch." And he would show teeth at it like it was the boogie. He would just, I say, "Yes, that's dangerous. We can't touch it." And he wouldn't touch it. He was really good. I was surprised. I was afraid we were going to have to keep him away from me, which would have broke my heart.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ooh, George, what?
Excuse you. Bless you, George.
Bless you.
So obviously I see you've got the nappy on.
Yes.
Do you ever put him in clothes, or does he not wear clothes? What's the situation around that?
I do with people, he's had a couple people buy him outfits and stuff like that, and I'll put it on it for a picture and stuff like that, but if he doesn't want to leave it on, I don't. But I don't get up and dress him. I do, for me, the diaper thing is a must, unless he's outside playing, like in a play cage or something like that. But I just don't think it's sanitary for him to run around my house without one. So, but as far as clothing go, he doesn't bother his diaper. He's a good boy, and most monkeys don't want to wear it. They take them off. So I feel like, if that's the least of our worries, if that's all he'll wear, I'll take it. So I don't force him. I don't stress him out about it.
Yeah, that's great. Again, you've got to think about his emotions and obviously and things like that. So you want to minimize, any stress that he may, we may anticipate that he's going to go through. So
Right.
that's great.
Update on my leg. It's doing pretty good. We've got a whole portrait on here. George, what do you think? What is it, George?
What is that, George?
Whoa, George, it's paint. You freaked out about my leg being colored on?
That's different. See, that's something different for him. So he doesn't normally see that. So he doesn't understand. What is that? He says. That's why he shows his teeth.
Does he like other monkeys, or?
Well, he tolerates his sister, but he would prefer to be the only child. But as far as play with monkeys, we went. We decided, oh, we'll take him and go to a monkey, what they call monkey picnic, monkey retreat. And we took him on one. What was it? About 3 years ago.
More than that.
Well, I had taken him to several others, but I took him on another one to Tennessee, and
Yeah.
and he didn't like it. So honestly, he thinks he's so human, and I'm not saying that anybody else's monkey is not smart. I'm not saying that by any. So I don't want anybody to be offended that maybe watching that has one, but he does not want to interact with them. The monkeys would reach out and try to hug his neck and touch him, and he would just be like, "Ooh," He didn't want them touching him. We ended up leaving early because he just was not having fun. He just did not. He wouldn't go run and play, and we were hoping that's what he would do. He just wants to be with humans.
That's pretty cute.
And all the other monkeys were jumping around, bouncing off the owner's heads, rustling and playing, tearing up stuff. And George was sitting in our lap, loving on us, wanting us to rock him to sleep. He was getting sleepy. He wanted to be, rubbed and loved on. And it was like, we drove this far for you to sit in our lap. So we don't do that anymore.
He loves his family. And
Yes, he does. He's very, very humanized. I mean, that's the other thing is, he's very, very humanized. He thinks he thinks he's human.
Just what you think.
He's like the inverse of George of the Jungle
Oh yes.
or Tarzan. Instead of a human raised by monkeys,
How
he's
does his baths work? Like, how often does he have a bath and things like that?
I give him a bath, every couple weeks in the summer because he sweats a lot. And in the wintertime, not very often, maybe once a month, because I have natural oils on them and it dries their skin out.
Okay.
So, but they don't stink. I mean, ours don't. So I don't. And it's funny because people that have come over, the friends of ours, George will sit in their lap and they're like, he doesn't smell like a monkey. I'm like, well, what does a monkey smell like? I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. He just doesn't smell like a monkey. I don't know what the monkey's supposed to smell like, but he smells like, I don't know. He smells fine. Yeah, he smells like George.
He doesn't really have a smell.
He doesn't have a smell like that. I mean, some dogs have smells. They smell like a dog, and you can say, "Oh, I smell dog," but it's not that. That's not the case with him. He doesn't smell like a monkey.
And what's his favorite food?
What's his favorite food? He's a pretty good eater.
Clearly.
Yeah.
What's his favorite food that he can't eat, and what's his favorite food that he can eat?
Junk food, anything with tons of sugar in it. But his favorite food, he really, really, really loves. Like, he loves sautéed mushrooms.
Oh wow.
And probably cucumbers.
Mealworms. He likes mealworms more
Yeah.
than cucumbers.
Yeah, that's his kryptonite is mealworms, and that's something new because we tried that when we first got him to try to keep him, doing what monkeys do, right? But he was not going to have anything to do with mealworms because they moved. Now, if he sees a mealworm, he wants the whole bag. And he doesn't like them. He likes them live, which is kind of sick.
I think I saw a video of that recently.
Yes. We try to let him. We don't want to try to stop him from being who he's supposed to be. But I don't. When we go in the backyard, our Will's and Lexi's dog, they we say lizards. You know, we tell Rudder, go get lizards, and he goes and looks for lizards. That's a smart little dog, and when George sees them, he acts like they're boogies, and then he tries to grab them. I won't let him grab them and rip them apart and stuff. So yeah, I just can't do that. So I won't let him kill the lizards.
But yeah, he'll hunt for them.
He'll hunt for them, but I won't let him do that.
All right, update on I've got the letters outlined.
Hit the low on that. We need to plug that in.
Oh shoot.
Let me get it. I'll get it.
I've got the letters outlined. If you don't know what this is, we are painting our paint by numbers that you can download in the link in our bio. This is what mine looks like so far. You can paint along with us. Go download in the link and post a picture or a video and tag us in it, because we are doing giveaways. One that we haven't announced yet is a bag that says Georgie Boy and has his handprint on it. So, we are so excited to see who gets this. Go post a picture and tag us in it or a video, and you might just get an exclusive Georgie Boy bag. Woohoo! What do you think, George?
Isn't the photo there, Lexi? The phone card is up
Might have to open our own George art gallery soon.
there.
Yes, a lot of people ask for that.
Oh, really?
Yes, they want the artwork, like the shirts that we have and different things like that. But they want a lot of artwork as well on clothing.
That's very cool. He's going to have his own clothing line soon, and
I hope so. We're gonna try to work on that.
We do have George shirts, George merch on our website, and you can get a shirt just like this. Mateo's wearing it as well.
I am.
How do you like it, Matteo?
I absolutely love it, to be honest, and I'm trying ever so much not to get any paint on it, because I want to wear it, because every item of my clothing has paint on it. So, I'm getting close.
George, are you painting a picture? No, you're not painting a picture? Well, mine is looking kind of rough too. Not like, well, yours actually looks pretty good. Messy good.
Messy good. I
Messy
like
good.
that. I'll
Mine's
take
not.
it.
Mine's not very good.
No, yours is great.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be like
What?
I don't know.
Mateo's just crossing his T's right now.
We're getting to the finish line, I am.
I don't even know where to start now. I'm so confused with all this. Wow. George, I know, I hear you. I know, I hear you. What do you want? I know, you hear
I think we
me.
need some more water.
Oh, George wants some more water? Wow, George, that's... How many of these have we gone through?
He drinks a lot of water.
Here you go.
George.
George, get some water. There you go.
There you go.
There you go, monkey.
Mateo needs some water as well.
Ugh. That's
I
mine.
think you touched on this earlier, but I was going to ask, what type of licensing do you have to have for George? Or to own?
It depends on your state and county. Like for our state, anything above 20 pounds, you have to have a license, and you go through Wildlife and Fisheries for that. It just depends on your county. That's why I said everyone needs to check your county. If your state says you can have them, please make sure you check your county and see what the county requires. Some of them require really strict caging laws. It just depends. But we have no restrictions like that for anything under 20 pounds. Anything above 20 pounds, there's caging restrictions, licenses, and different things like that.
What's George doing?
Are you going to be in the door?
Yes, he is. He hears the dog at the door. So he's...
But George is not 20 pounds. George is like 11
If he keeps
pounds.
eating, he's going to be 20 pounds. But for his species, we don't have to.
Okay.
Now, some states are, even though they say you can have primates, meaning primates, you can have New World monkeys, but you can't have any of the Old World monkeys. So you have to be careful. And Old World monkeys are like the macaques, the great ape, some of the baboons, chimpanzees, things like that.
But George does have a license anyway, right?
Yes, we have what we need to have him. Except for our sanity sometimes.
That's a different license.
Yeah.
That one you get from your psychiatrist.
And this may be a silly question, but does George know how to read?
Does he what? Have a room?
Does he know how to read?
Oh, does he know how to read? Oh, does he know how to read?
It sure seems like it.
It sure seems like it. I don't know. I think I need to have his IQ tested, because if that's even such a thing, because he loves to read. Instructions, as y'all can see, that's his favorite thing, I think, is to read the owner's manual to everything. So I don't know. I know that they see a little bit different than what we do, but I don't know if he really can understand what he's seeing. I like to think he can.
I saw one of his birthday presents was some magazines, and he got really excited with that.
Yes. He loves magazines. We got one right here, actually. Just to keep...
Yes.
Because he loves magazines.
I mean, it's funny, that you would think that all... Because I know other people that have capuchins and stuff, and I asked them, and they're like, no, mine doesn't show any interest in doing that. So, they're so unique, just like humans. We're all so different,
Yeah, absolutely. They've got their own little personalities and dislikes and likes, so I guess that's, as you said, makes them all unique.
Yeah, we're getting rain here right now.
So where exactly are you, Matteo?
Yes, if you haven't, for everyone who's watching, if you haven't worked out by the accent, I'm from Sydney, Australia. So
I love the
yeah,
accent.
to everyone.
I love it.
Have you guys
Sydney.
been to Australia?
No, we want to come. I have some good friends there, and then I have a niece that's there going to school.
Oh, okay. In Sydney or?
I don't know exactly. I think it is Sydney. Yeah, it is Sydney. Yes, it is.
Well, we won't give too many details.
Yeah, we can't give details for her to be bombarded at her school, but she's there, and she will be there for another year and a half, I think.
Oh.
So we're planning on coming. Again, will the whole family come? I don't know.
Well, be sure to let me know.
For sure.
Oh yeah.
For sure, and I would love to bring George, but the quarantine laws there are very strict, which they should be. I admire that about Australia. But they want to make sure that no diseases come in and hurt any of the animals that y'all have there. So, so I couldn't get George in, but I hate that. But when she graduates, me and my husband for sure will be coming.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, there was I'm sure you heard a famous story of a celebrity who brought his two dogs in and without sort of letting the authorities know, and they had to do a big quarantine thing, and yeah, it was a really big thing, so.
Yeah, and especially like for exotics, because the different diseases that, of course George does not carry diseases, but yeah, they, well, it's really coming down out there.
We got some rain here.
It's coming down. That's what George was alerting us to earlier at the door, probably. He was
George
hearing
probably sensed it. He's like, with his sixth sense, like dogs.
They do, right? They sense so much,
Oh, yes.
which is amazing.
It is, really. Sometimes we forget about it and really don't know how. it's crazy.
It's always like with dogs as well, right? Like they can, their sense of smell is so amazing that when the rain's coming, they can smell it before it's actually here.
Yeah.
I know, that's crazy. You would think as smart as we are, we could tell that too, right? We could sense it. We're, a lot more intelligent than them. You would think so. So maybe we're not the smarter ones.
Yeah, well, I think you're right there, to be honest. So with that said, can you, with George and his sort of his potty training and stuff like that, can you litter box train him or?
Yes, you can, and that would probably be more doable than doing a regular potty training. That would really, I know several people that do that because they don't want to spend the money on the diapers and that kind of a thing. For me, it's because they're always touching everything. I don't want him touching his bum. I think y'all call it bum, right? We call it butt here, but bum. Their bum.
We say bum.
Bum, So, with him, it's a sanitary thing for me. That's why I choose not to do that, because he's constantly touching everything. I've taught him his body parts, so he's constantly. Before that, he even did that before, though. I mean, that's what monkeys do. They're constantly scratching and itching and touching, and
What's that, George?
I don't think it's too sanitary.
Yep, that makes sense. Oh, I'm getting close.
Oh, man. Mateo's almost done. The speed artist over there.
I'd be a bit worried if I couldn't do it faster than most.
So that's incredible. You can do a whole portrait in just 10 minutes.
So I pretty much, that's what I do for a living. I paint portraits live on stage, usually of celebrities, so I open, for celebrities and things like that, charity events and whatnot. It's a performance. I perform to music. I've had some pretty cool experiences. Met some pretty cool people from Mark Wahlberg, John Travolta. It's been pretty cool, pretty amazing.
That is so awesome. Do you like practice beforehand? You just kind of like, paint like 10 portraits beforehand, and then you're like, okay, I think I've got it now.
No, he's a pro. Not like us.
To be honest, you pretty much, that's exactly what I do. I mean, although I've got, a sort of system in place now, and, I've got like a process that I follow every time I do a portrait. Every portrait has its own style that it requires. So, for example, I could do one in black and white. It's just not going to work. But then I could do it in, like a pop art style that I'm doing sort of now, that we're all doing, and it'll work. So usually that's what I do, is I find a good reference of, whoever I'm painting, and then just work out, like I have sort of like, paper that I do some sketches on and painting and things like that, work out what's going to work, and then I start doing it to scale of the performance size that I do, because usually I do it, we work in meters, so it's like usually like a meter by a meter. I think that might be like 3 feet, roughly, by 3 feet, I think it is. So I sort of do that big, to inspirational music and stuff like that. So it's exciting.
That's really cool. And you do it with multiple. I saw with Jack Black you were doing four at the same time. 4 brushes. That's insane.
I like to sort of, tease the audience a little bit. So, I'll use 4 brushes. Sometimes I'll do the painting upside down. So the entire time, the painting is upside down. I'm not upside down, but the painting is upside down.
You should do it where you're upside down.
Yeah, I tried that one, but I just passed out. But yeah, so I always like to keep the audience, on their toes, and because it's so fast as well, it's just like 1 minute, there's a stroke here and a stroke there, and then the next thing the whole piece is together, so to speak. So yeah, it's pretty exciting stuff.
Oh, you're better than me, George. She's better than me, George. What do you think about that? He's better.
I'm a little worried I'm not going to be able to finish this.
Oh, you're doing well. It's coming along. Oh, George. He heard.
George, who's that?
Oh, Mama's
His tail's getting all wet. Oh, paint. He's got paint on his tail.
Oh,
George got paint on his tail. That's great.
there we go.
Here you go. Here, we have more wet. We gotta clean
We're
George's
doing
tail.
splash paint.
Splash.
Splash plate.
There's George's splash paint.
You get a little bit of
On
his
his-
tail on you.
There's George's portrait, everybody. Look at that artwork. Wow.
Oh,
Look
George.
at the accents. Just the creativity in this is insane.
That's
When he does something naughty, how do you punish him or discipline him? What do you usually do?
For George, Lacey, we have to be very delicate because she's very delicate. She gets her feelings hurt easy. I think George is so desensitized to me yelling that it doesn't bother him. He's like, oh, well, she's just having one of those moments. She'll be over it in a minute. But normally, I can count to 3. When I say 1, 2, and by 2, he comes running, and we call it a drop, rock, and roll. He plays dead. He'll run in and play dead and try to make up and tell me he's sorry. But I normally don't have to do a whole lot. I used to have to put him in a little taxi, a little cat taxi, and I used to make him sit in there for a few minutes until he got quiet. After I've told him all day long to quit doing whatever he's doing, but so it just depends. It's just kind of like a kid, You have to figure out what punishment makes them tick and what's going to make them stop, because he definitely runs his own agenda. You're not getting down, no sir. You're not getting down. No,
But it's
sir.
also important to reward good behavior.
Oh, yes.
So
We do a lot of
George is-
rewarding.
if George is doing good, then he'll get some good treat, like his favorite almond whipped cream, sugar-free almond whipped cream. George loves that. Well, we gotta fix the camera over here, real quick.
We try to use a lot of positive reinforcement. They're very food driven, so if you treat them, you can get them to do just about anything you want them to do.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
So we just try to keep it all healthy. We do not feed. We don't give him Cokes. What's some of the other things we don't give?
That he loves his cereal.
No, but I mean junk, the stuff that he can't have.
Well, yeah,
We
like
don't-
Fruit Loops. You can't have Fruit Loops.
we just don't give him processed sugars and things like that, because they become diabetics very, very easily.
Oh, wow.
So he does not get a lot of the stuff that he would love to have. So
Well, that's good though. That's another thing that I think you have to be conscious of is what you feed them, because I guess they could,
yeah,
as you said,
it does, because a lot of times, I talk to people and they're like, well, how do you, I can't not tell mine no. They want it. I'm like, okay, well then kill them with kindness then, because what's going to happen is they're going to end up with liver failure or something else, because they're going to become a diabetic, and then it's too late. There's not much once they get to that point that you can do a whole lot for them, So you have to love them enough to say no. It's hard.
What's more important, having them around or not having them around?
Right. So it's difficult. It's very difficult. Because I want him to be happy, and if I'm having a piece of candy or something and he wants something, so I just don't have it. I don't eat it around him.
Yeah, which again, that's fair as well.
I gotta give y'all an update. Here is my portrait. Georgie boy. Looking pretty
Oh,
good.
it's coming along.
Yeah. Yeah, check that out.
Will,
Doing pretty
it's
good.
not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
He's doing pretty good, yeah. If you don't know what this is, you can paint along with us and go to the link in our bio and download this and print it out and get your favorite crayons or coloring pencils. This is probably the most mental health positive thing you can do, painting and watching George.
We get that a lot. People tell us that a lot.
We've got some mental soothing going on around the world right now.
I definitely agree with that. That's art and George. That's a perfect combination.
Yes, it is.
Can you teach monkeys sign language or?
You can. I know a lot of the zoos do it with the larger primates. That's not too bad. George knows more. He knows a few, but I'll be honest with you, I've just been lazy. I've been really lazy. But you can teach them. I know people that have taught primates some sign.
Okay. That's very interesting, to be honest. I didn't know if you could or not, and and I don't think you're being lazy. I'm sure you've got, as you said, 1,000 things happening. So, no, not at all.
Yeah, it's if he was not responding to how we interact with him, and we needed a better way to communicate, but for us with him, he does very well, and he seems to understand us pretty much. So we don't have to do that. But I could try to do that. I'm just lazy.
I've got a question, Matteo. How am I supposed to know what light teal is?
You make it. You make it right here.
You make it.
Show me your color. Show me your color palette. It's like a. See, I've got it in
It's like this.
Got it in a tube here. I don't know if you can you see that?
See, that's exactly what I did. I made it.
Yeah, you did.
You gotta add white to
Well,
it.
I got so many colors
Didn't
that
they
look like
teach you
though.
that in kindergarten or first grade or whatever, how to mix colors?
Yeah, whatever.
I cheated and I just got it out of the tube, so.
George, you really need
Light
it.
teal.
I am not gonna sit here and hug you and hold you all day long.
Light teal.
So what's something unique about George? Does he have like any tricks or like besides opening a lot of presents?
I don't know. Help me out here. What is it?
George is right-handed. That is actually unique. Most capuchin monkeys are left-handed.
Oh wow, okay.
And that is actually a sign that they're more intelligent whenever they're right-handed, which is a weird fact. I don't know where we found that fact, but
We also were unique is his handprint. Just like us, they have a fingerprint and handprint that's unique to them. So he's the only one that has his own fingerprints and handprint.
That's actually very cool.
George wants me to hold him for a while, so my painting's gonna have to hold off, guys. He trumps, he rules.
I have accidentally got my paint all mixed up here, so hopefully it won't look all sloppy. More sloppy than it already does look.
Look, he's almost done, George. You don't want to paint? You don't want to paint? Huh? Oh, you're watching him on the big TV.
We have one more that we need to show y'all because it's been super exciting. Personally made by us.
By George, too.
By George. Tie-dye Georgie boy bag with his handprint and his signature. The only one in the world right now. You can own this. Just post a picture or a video of your painting and George will send it to you if you win. You can get a chance to win this if you post a picture of your video, of your painting or video, and you will have a chance to win this giveaway along with many others, including this Georgie boy bag. I think this one's my favorite. This Georgie boy dish towel. This Georgie boy apron. This other Georgie boy dish towel. And these tie-dye socks. All signed by George himself. So, download the painting in the bio. And post a picture of it when you're done. Hopefully it looks a lot better than this. Or this. Well, this is George. This is how it's supposed to look. This is George's.
That's mine.
Oh, you're doing
I've got a
good.
long ways to go. This is going to be my therapy that I guess I'm going to have to finish when George doesn't demand my time. Push the belly button. Is that the belly button?
You can tell I'm concentrating because I'm almost finished.
Wow.
That's awesome. That's an awesome job.
Yeah.
We're getting there. So usually when I'm performing, I know when I'm coming to the end because I know by the music that I'm performing to how long it is.
Oh yeah.
So-
Oh, yeah.
I know whether I have to speed up or if I'm doing okay. And there's been times where it's like, I know there's one song left and I've got a lot more to go. And I need to really, really start painting and throwing the paint everywhere and brushes and all this sort of stuff. So here it's just peace. It's good. I'm just, we're vibing, we're chilling. George is just snoozing. It's good.
This is totally different feel.
It is. I like it. I don't have to rush to do it, which is awesome. What about his nails? Do you have to trim his nails a lot or?
No, we do have a little baby that someone got him as a gift, a little baby drill for their hands. But he bites his own fingernails. He keeps them trimmed for himself, so we don't have to do that.
Oh, that's handy.
But if they're a little bit from him biting on them, I kind of file them a little bit down for him.
Okay. Very cool.
Look at that. Look at that. Here, I have some right here. George is very clingy right now, so George rules.
Take this.
What are you doing with that?
I'm mixing my color. It looks too much. I'm probably ruining my portrait right now. I don't like the color that I'm using right now.
We are going to hang that.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'll work harder.
He just went into panic mode.
Does it smell?
As I said earlier, there's no rules. That's a good thing about art. It's just let it flow and what will be will be. That's cool. The beautiful thing is that we're all painting the same thing, but it's all going to come out different, and that's what I love.
We're all unique.
That's got to be the most. That's got to be the most stressful thing for anyone to say to a painter.
What?
We're going to be hanging that.
No, they would be honored. Somebody that's not a painter cringes like you.
I'm like, what?
Can I have one? That's so good. Is that good? That's good. That is good.
What is he eating? What's
Yeah.
George eating?
It is. Sit still.
Oh, we got some raisins.
It's some sweet and tangy cranberry, blueberries, and honey roasted almonds.
Is that his favorite, or does he have a favorite nut?
He loves cashews.
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 I was sitting here reading this here. Cashews.
Bless you.
Cashews.
Very sophisticated.
Your sister was saying something the other day about a store, and she said it, and it was some like, we say Target. Well, I can't remember what it was, but it was like Target. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
really? Oh, it's Suave. Suave.
Oh,
She goes, you know Suave? Suave has a new conditioner for my type of hair. I said, Suave? You mean Suave? Suave. Yes.
Cashews.
Cashews. It sounds like
I might use that. Yeah.
sounds like shoes, right? Some sort of
Yeah.
shoes.
I
Cashews.
thought you were going to say like shoes. Like, what's that? Like, no, that's-
He does like shoes. He likes to untie every one of our tennis shoes, and those are the new. The new tennis shoes are very hard to lace because of the way that they're done. He likes to undo them. And I spend half of a morning trying to figure out how to lace them back up again.
playing cheekies.
You notice our accent?
I do a little bit, to be honest. Like, but it's not like, I mean, I used to travel to the States a lot, obviously pre-COVID, mainly LA and things like that. But obviously I've mixed with a lot of different people, different accents and whatnot. But yeah, I love it. I love the accent. I think it's great.
Yeah, everybody mentions it to me all the time. Oh, I love your accent. I was like, ugh. When I hear myself, I'm like, oh, I didn't realize you sounded so bad.
See, I'm the same with my accent. I always think like when I speak to Americans and things like that, I don't like mine. I'm like,
I love it. I love it. I talked to someone in different parts of North Carolina. Their accent is a little bit different in different parts of North Carolina. I was talking to someone the other day, and I was like, wow, they sound really southern. Like, they got the real bad southern drawl from Georgia on up. It's like really thick. The accent's really heavy. So
Oh,
I don't
okay.
feel too bad.
He's 16.
And he said do the dots in the areas when you're doing them, and it'll be easier.
Oh, I missed
But of
that.
course-
Oh, there it is.
But of course, I didn't get any further before the boss here decided he does not want me to be painting.
George.
What is that, George? Here, sit right here.
Hey, monkey.
Oh, you're gonna get paint. Look at us. This is what he wants right here.
Oh, George.
He's wanting paint. You are busy. Can you sit down? Sit down. Thank you. You want some water? You're always busy. Here, stop. Look. I'm gonna give you some water. There you go. George has got company coming today. His Grammy and Papa are coming to see him today.
Oh, and does he get like super excited?
Oh yes, he does.
That's cool.
When he's excited to see, he runs and he screams and squeals and carries on. So he gets to see them today. Can you paint your picture? Can you paint? I'm sure they can hear you slurping that down. You are a loud eater and drinker. Are you done? You got paint all over your face too, George.
What?
You got purple and orange. Okay, I'm gonna go back to painting, George. You are Dark
What's this,
purple.
George?
Never mind.
Oh, yeah.
This is dark purple. Which one's dark purple? This.
Oh, shoot, that's 14, not 15. Alright, this is gonna be...
That's okay. We won't tell anyone. It's all good.
I got the wrong color. That's fine. I think it'll add a little bit more character.
15. That's 15. That's 15.
Now, how do you keep your brush from looking smudgy? Mine looks a little smudgy.
Smudgy.
See, I like that. I like the.
You like
smudge
the
effect.
You like the smudge effect. Okay, so I'll keep doing that then.
Yeah, I like because it just gives it that. You know, again, there's no rules. It just keeps it raw, and it keeps it unique to you. Like I don't know if you can see at all. Like here, where I've got, you know, I've got the undertone of like the teal and the dark teal, and then I've built it up with a bit of orange here, a bit of yellow, and it just brings it. You know, it just brings the orange into his eye a bit further out. So yeah, you just have fun with it.
Well, for me, we'll pretend that it's intentional.
Okay, I'm gonna give you some here.
There's no rules in art.
Sit down on your butt. On your butt. Thank you, sir. So, what are the laws in Australia for having a primate? Do you know?
To be honest, I don't actually know. I can't answer that. I wish I did know, but I don't think we can have them, to be honest.
I didn't think so, but I don't. They're very strict, like Hawaii. You know, they're very strict on their quarantine laws and exotic laws. So.
Yeah. I think like maybe snakes. Like, is that? I mean, along those lines. Like,
Yes, that would be considered exotic. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that and like some type of lizards and things like that. But other than that, it's very minimal of what we can have. So we always joke, you know, like one of our koalas, right? And we always joke because they're so cuddly and things like that. We can't have them as pets, but we always joke and say it'd be really cool just to have a koala as a pet because they're just little cuddly bears. But they obviously we can't have that either. So.
Yeah, I'd love to have one of those too. I would have a zoo if I could.
Likewise, to be honest.
They bring so much joy and happiness to you.
They do, and people like, you know, again, like you and I, we kind of relate with our health and things like that. Until you're in a situation like that, you don't really realise how much joy, you know, an animal can bring, and how much peace and healing and things like that. So I always say to people, you know, like animals give you unconditional love, and it's so important. You know, especially when you're going through a tough time. So yeah, I think they're amazing.
Yes, they do. But you just got to be prepared for all the other stuff that comes along with it. That's the downside to it, you know.
Cool.
Yeah.
But the good outweighs the bad.
100%. I totally agree.
I'm going off tracks here. I'm adding gold.
Oh wow! You're doing a limited edition now.
Yeah.
He's never been able to follow directions. George, what do you think about that?
This don't look too good. Okay, let's try it.
You gonna make him Brazilian?
Brazilian?
Yeah.
Oh, with the gold.
Yep. Brazilian. We hear you out there, buddy. You hear him, George? Uh-huh. He's at the door.
I wonder how all of George's fans are going painting his portrait.
I can't wait to
I
see
know.
all the fans' stuff. It's awesome. It would help if I could see. Everything's blurry. For me. Let's see.
So I guess, what would be your final words in terms of, advice on anyone who would want to own a monkey and, possibly consider going down that road?
My best advice would be, number one, first of all, check and see your local and county laws and state laws. And then if that's something that you really would want to do, I think you should shadow or go and ask someone if you can come spend several days on and off with them and see what it's like. Make for sure you have a vet, all those, do your homework before it's just not something to take lightly. I mean, this is a 30 to 40, 50 year commitment. And I talked with one woman and she was telling me that, I've got the time, we're retired, but my husband travels a lot still. He's not retired, but he travels a lot and he's only home for a little bit. And in that scenario, I asked her, who's going to take care of it if she should get, because she's in her 60s. I said, if you should get sick. She said, well, my husband would. I said, well, your husband travels a lot. That's not feasible with capuchins or with a primate, period, because they don't adjust very well. You have to have, it has to be very structured. So, make for sure that, if something should happen, that, like, for me, if something happens to me, which it did, I almost died last year. It took the whole family, but George goes to every one of those family members, right? But if your kids live out of state or your kids don't come over but once a month, what are you going to do if the primate doesn't attach to them or won't let them care for them? So, you need to ask your grown children, because I do not support anyone with children having them.
Okay.
I would say that, you need to ask your adult children, are you willing to take on, them should something happen?
Yeah.
Because that's not fair to your grown children if they have children. And because what happens is they get locked up in a cage because they have soccer events, ballet, or whatever. So you have to do your homework. And if you do have the bandwidth or the wherewithal to do that, then, by all means, let them bring you joy. But don't take that lightly. And more importantly, the laws are the most important, because they will come and jerk them out of your home, for sure.
And the monkey pays the price.
And that's right. Just like what Will said, the monkey pays the price. So, it's just not fair, and I don't think, I think people start off with good intentions, as we all do, and it just doesn't end well.
Yeah.
Because we can't predict what's going to happen in life.
George is interested in my painting over here. I'm getting close to done. Not really. I mean, it looks like.
I can see it on an angle, and it's looking actually really good.
You think so?
I can't see it properly, but I'm gonna put it out there. It's really good.
It's doable.
Wow, y'all!
It's
Matteo celebrity artist Matteo Charles said this is looking pretty good.
Wow.
Hey,
It actually does look decent.
what do you think?
Except for the clumpy.
What do y'all think?
It looks pretty good.
The clump was added intentionally. Thank you. I don't know what clump you're talking about. Oh, this clump. That was intentional.
Look, you're getting yourself all. Look at your shirt. Look at yourself.
What? Oh, I got paint on me.
Welcome to my world, my friend.
I did good.
Yes,
The monkey got it on him, though.
Yeah.
And you're a bit smarter as well. You're putting everything away from you, so that works well too.
Yeah, well, I'm used to messes because, as you can see, he's like a bull in a china cabinet. He's just,
Yes.
and he's all over the place.
And another little art trick as well that everyone, if you want to do, a lot of my work has, splats on it. So sometimes at the end of the performance, I'll dip my hands in the paint and throw it at the canvas and stuff like that. Probably wouldn't suggest that now.
I'll do
But
it.
If you have like an old toothbrush, what you can do is dip it in water and then dip it in the paint, and then you just sort of flick it over the
Oh, wow.
painting, and it'll add some little splats and things like that as well. That's just a little tip if you want to add another little layer to the artwork as well.
So what time is it there for you?
It's almost 3 in the morning.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Mateo's running on fumes. Everybody.
I am. That's all right. I've got a block of chocolate next to me. I'm gonna probably get a have some soon.
Yeah, he must really love George to give up his sleep.
Yeah.
I do. So I think I'm done. What? Can everyone see that?
Wow.
Oh, we gotta
Wow.
move. Can you move up that camera?
Move this camera here up. Here. I'll get it.
Oh, George is adding some accents to my painting here.
His tail's fixing to be in it. Let's see here. Okay, there we go. George, what are we doing, George?
Actually, I have to add the final touch. Everyone must sign their paintings as well. Very important. You have to sign the painting. So at the end, you've got to put your signature. So I'm going to put mine on.
George, you drawing on the magazine?
He's looking at recipes that he wants for lunch.
George, you got the magazine in my paint. Thanks, George.
There we go. That's done. That's pretty cool.
Awesome job.
Yours looks good.
And I went a bit out of the lines as well, and I broke the rules a little bit, changed some of the colours.
Yeah, I did that too.
Let's
good.
not
I like
eat
that.
let's not eat the paint. That magazine's done. You're not eating the paint, Mister.
Oh my goodness.
He says I am eating the
I
paint.
feel like I'm so close.
Okay.
What do you do whenever you lose the number? I lost the number. You just choose a color, I guess.
You just wing it.
That's what I'm doing.
That's what we do with George. Just wing it.
Yeah, that's the best way sometimes. As you said, we don't know what's going to happen in life, so
That's
you just
right.
gotta wing. Make the best of it.
Just wing it. Life is a journey. Have fun.
It is. It is. It's about the process, it's about the journey, and it's about art.
And it's about George.
And of course it's about journey.
Yeah, we live in his world.
Yes.
This is his world. We just live in it.
Yeah. It always used to be like that with Bentley as well. We were his pets.
Yes, that's what I always say. I say, yeah, he owns us. We don't own him.
Yeah. But I'm sure you wouldn't have it any other way.
I wouldn't. As Will has said, he rescued us. It's
Yeah, I don't know.
so we've all, on bad days, you look at it and say, oh, this is all worth it. And then there's times I'm like, what was I thinking? But in the end, we would not trade him for the world.
Yeah, I know. I know the feeling. They're just a baby.
Whatever it takes to keep him safe.
Exactly.
I'm on about my last color here, I think.
Oh, I can't wait to see this.
I didn't get
Make
to.
sure everyone post and tag George so we can see your artworks as well.
Yes. If you post and tag us, you will be entered for a chance to win giveaways, including this Georgie Boy bag. Everyone's going to want a Georgie Boy bag. Summer's coming up. You're going to end up wanting to go to the beach or the lake or whatever. And you're going to want to take your Georgie Boy bag with you. Wear your Georgie Boy shirt.
I think I'm going to wear my Georgie Boy shirt next time I'm on stage.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Did you get paint on you?
I didn't. I just, because I had my palette here. So I had my palette of colours. Usually I have them on the floor and I'm dipping and throwing it everywhere.
Oh.
Do you guys remember Bob Ross? Did anyone ever watch Bob Ross?
Of course.
Ah, good. So I kind of felt like Bob Ross tonight because I just, I was happy. What's the quote? There's no accidents, just mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
So,
No No mistakes, just happy accidents or something like that. I don't remember.
Yep, that's good. But tonight I've got like that.
George, are you gonna get into the crayon? You're peeling crayons.
He doesn't eat them, does he?
No, he just peels them.
It's actually good.
It keeps him busy.
Yeah. He's gonna have so many different versions of himself that he's gonna look at very soon in the form of art, which is exciting.
George, do you know you're famous? Do you know how important you are? He says, yeah, boss lady.
Oh, I think. Oh, Will's even going on the sides. Okay.
Yeah. It's a canvas.
Oh, George. George.
George, what are you doing? You're right.
You're smudging it, George. Don't do that. You're gonna get it all over you. Look at 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 you.
I love that.
Oh my gosh, I'm trying to hurry up because I'm so excited to show y'all this.
Good job, George. What number was that on? Army Group 8. This is.
At some point, you just gotta forget about the numbers and go with what color you think works best.
Yeah.
Because
Have fun.
I've got so many smudges that I can't tell what the number is.
And I heard, like, George sleeps a lot too, right? Like he's a big sleeper.
Yes, I put him down every night about 8:30, 9 o'clock. And trust me, well, let Will. Will, what does George do when he does it, when he's ready to go to bed? Can you demonstrate it? How he does? Yeah, you can.
I can't demonstrate.
You're very animated. You can do it.
He puts his arms like this and he's like, ooh, ooh, ooh.
So we have to hear that about 8:45 to 9 o'clock, depending upon, like last night I kept him up a little, you know. I actually didn't keep him up the night before I did, but last night I put him to bed early and he screamed because he didn't want to go to bed. But normally the night before I had to keep him up longer because we had something to do and I had to get him up super early. So he doesn't like to get up before 10 o'clock. Just not going to happen. No, you go walk in there at 9:30, he puts the covers back over his head and won't come out.
Oh,
So,
pretty adorable.
but he starts that crying and he's horrible. The screaming and crying. It's just like, okay, it's time for you to go to bed. We don't make it normally till 9 o'clock. How's he do it again, Will?
No, I'm doing it.
Come on, Will, you can do it. You can do it.
Oh, George.
George, he said he meant to do that. That's part of the
Okay.
art.
That was beautiful. You look.
Alright, if y'all didn't know, this is what it's supposed to look like.
Look at George. Look at George trying to eat the. Can you do it again, George? Can you do it again?
What are you doing, Mom?
I won't let him lick it.
George, do you like your portrait?
Do you like your portrait? You want some more water? Of course you do. He drinks a lot of water.
I was just about to ask him. Obviously, he must drink a lot, right?
Yes, he drinks a lot. He loves. I use alkaline water for him, and he loves it. He loves it. I can give him bottled water, or he just doesn't like it like that. He'll hand it back to me. He's expensive. He likes expensive water.
I drink alkaline water as well, so we've got something in common. That's for sure.
Yes, he loves his alkaline water.
That's very cool.
George, I don't know how this is not going on here. My hands are not working today. My hands are actually hurting today. Here you go. There you go. George, you put pink on your face, on your picture.
Let's see. Yep, he's definitely an he's definitely an art monkey now because he's got paint everywhere.
Yes, he does. He has paint.
All right, so how do we do this? Will this work for splatter? This will work.
Yeah, that's actually really good.
Oh, this is good?
Just dip it in some water.
Okay.
Yeah, and then maybe just tap it on like if you have a paper towel or something. Yeah.
Okay.
And then dip it in the
My leg.
whichever color you like.
Dip it in whatever color.
And if you want to be really adventurous,
All right, ready, George?
just stand up. That's it.
Whoa! Oh, that didn't. Well, that looks pretty cool. All right, this is it. The final product of mine.
Well,
Very cool.
I'm still going. It's gonna be. We'll have to have part 12 for mine.
What do y'all think?
That's awesome.
George helped me out a lot.
I better stick to my day job, caring for George.
No, you've done well.
Oh, I have to sign it. I can't forget to sign it.
Yes, you have to sign up.
You have to have a marker to do that.
Oh, no, I can do it with a paintbrush.
Okay.
All right, we got black. Will
We'll run.
Make sure he does it right, George.
the human.
Will, the yellow man.
I'm just gonna go Will and George. George has to sign it too.
He can. I guess you have to have a lot of patience to paint.
Not Matteo, he's a speed artist. Will and George.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. And once it dries, it actually is going to look different as well. And that's what I love about when I paint too. Like, if I do a commission piece for someone, they'll ring me up or they'll email me maybe 6 months later and they'll say, oh, we just saw this, we didn't notice, or we saw that. So once that dries and it's in a different light, it'll look different as well. So that's something to be mindful of too, which is super cool.
Awesome.
Cool. Yeah, hopefully it'll look better.
It looks really good. I love how you did the background as well with a bit of a blend.
Yeah, a little bit.
Very cool, very cool.
Yeah, so hopefully everyone at home was able to finish theirs with their coloring pencils or crayons or acrylic paints. We are so excited to see what y'all have done. George is hiding underneath he's got his crayon.
Put his
Put his
Let's
crayon
not eat that.
through
Hand it to me. Hand it to me. Look at your mouth. Where did you get the yellow paint? Off of Will's thing.
Oh, George.
No, we don't do that.
He
Give it
was
to me.
adding some licks. Everyone's got to lick their painting.
Here.
Go post your results and tag us, and you just might win a free giveaway, and it might be this Georgie Boy bag or an apron or a dish towel with George's handprint. We're so excited to see what y'all have done. George is excited. What are you doing?
What are you doing? What are you doing?
We hope that y'all all had fun watching along with Matteo, Charles, and George and painting along with him. Bless you, George.
Thank you. I got your nose. I got your nose.
Thank you all for joining in. We hope that you all enjoy your weekend, starting it off with some important mental health, which is painting and Georgie Boy. We love y'all. Thank you all for joining in. Y'all are awesome. Matteo?
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for
hosting this with us.
Yes, thank you so much for this, Matteo.
My absolute pleasure. We have to do it again soon.
We will. You're awesome.
Thank you. Thank you so much, guys.
All right, thank you, everybody. This concludes the Georgie Boy Paint Live with George and Matteo Charles. We hope that y'all had fun. Goodbye, everyone. Y'all are awesome. George is going to go and decompress with probably a magazine or something and watch some TV. We love y'all. Y'all are amazing. George, what do you say? George is something.
Say thank you. Say thank you. No, we're not running around. We're not running around. Say thank you. Can you say thank you over here? Look, look, look. Who's that? Is that you? Is that you? All right. Can you tell everybody thank you, thank you? Say thank you.
Hold on, we're not done just yet, everybody. Bye,
Go
TikTok.
check out Georgie Boy Store. We've got some awesome artwork on our shirts. And George loves y'all. Oh my goodness. George.